just of synthesizing and writing. So when we talk about synthesizing and writing, this is a skill you possess when you're in certain organization or an institution dealing with business requirements. Because in synthesizing and organizing, this talks about how we do well in filing informations that we gather, writing work. So this skill is essential, especially uh, for doing some annual reports or even simple because this skill this will give the readers stand uh, uh, knowledge, no? Because course for synthesis, no? Things that have dead works, no, or works that will be presenting on a piece of paper. So when we talk about slicing, this is defined as combining a number of parts or ideas come up. Why do we need that descriptive writing? Because we get caught in a certain meetings, certain articles that we read, so that it can be supported in the claims that we are being report or report. This is somehow similar to the research, no? If you're familiar with the synthesis part, search on one up the literature. For synthesizing the information that you gathered, you them based on the similarities and differences that you have searched on, then eventually you synthesize what are things that very important if duplicate certain search studies. That's for how important synthesizing part is now. So an example of synthesis is when you read several books and use all of the subject. The ability to write synthesis depends on the ability for relationships among sources, essay, articles, fictions, and also written sources such as lectures and observation. This is not a simple skill. This is an advanced skill master. When you are taking down notes from the articles that read or the essays that have read, no, and even when you are listening to lectures or interviews, based on the observations that you have to provide the synthesis out of those topics that you heard. This is an ability that you need to master for business writing. So when we synthesize, we create a picture per head. We are using Venn diagram, for example. We are looking for the contrasting ideas. We are looking for the similarities so that we can create a vivid picture based on the things that we have combined from the idea from topic A, idea topic B to topic C. No, we are looking in the different sides of so that we can see different angles in those ideas. Eventually, we can get a better picture of those ideas in our how synthesizing. So how to synthesize or how for effectively synthesizing information to ask primarily self. What am I trying to do right now? That's the proper thing to ask now. You have to define first what are you thinking. Very start of your report. For example, you are trying to write on business review. So ask yourself, what are you going first, and find what is meant by effort. And afterwards, you provide evidences based on the things that you have searched on in, for example, articles, essays, found in the, even the lectures that you heard, attended, seminars that you have, then provide support for something that I just said in paper so that it will become reliable and credible enough for them to believe your paper, your report is somehow credible to be read. No? Then argue for more abstract. The beauty of synthesizing is that you not only agree for a certain topic, aside from agreeing, you have to disagree for something that you have read on. Because the beauty of synthesizing is not only agreeing, but also disagreeing the facts that you have read on philosophical point, because it will broaden and widen your understanding on the topic based on things that um, just make sure that you have the proper evidences and the support details so that um, your paper will be credible. Now, when we talk about explanatory synthesis, this explains a lot and helps the readers to understand the topic. Somehow, this is called the descriptive synthesis because you are only writing those things based on understanding the topic with a meager uh, support from the articles or essays that you read. So writers explain when by the subject parts and present them in clear and orderly fashion. So explanations may entail descriptions that recreate in words some objects, place, event, sequence of words, or state of words. The purpose in writing an essay is not to argue a particular point, but rather to present the facts in reasonably objective. When we talk about explanatory synthesis, only describes the facts, gives you some information uh, to look into. There is no argument in here, aside from other kinds of synthesis. There are arguments on there, but in give you an idea what is happening. Now, when we talk about argument synthesis, this is the thing that I'm saying. Synthesis that gives you different picture or different point of view working in business writing. So the purpose of the argument thesis is for you to set your own point of view. Um, you're not only agreeing or arguing. And when you argue, first, it must be supported by relevant facts drawn from sources and presented logically. In such a way, they can be, they will believe your argument. So the thesis of argument essay is debatable. It makes a proposition about reasonable people, and any writer working with the same source material see pasok uh, so, thesis. Synthesizing information consists of three parts. We have accurate reporting information from particular sources, using synthesis, organizing the information such clear and precise. What was the reader's and see the communication between the ideas sources being shared and communicating and being better understand sources with depth of field being synthesis. When we talk about synthesizing information enables you to draw your conclusion and generates your new idea based on learn. Of course, with proper evidences supported. names name right on in business script. Okay, so also when you do synthesis, make sure to make photocopies. These photocopies are printouts of gathered. This will give you some back framework for the things that written into. Be sure each item has information you need to cite. This is for evidences, no? Safekeeping. Be sure each item has information you need to cite final report and biographies like author's name, the title of article, like the publication pages, date, even the URL when you edit internet web page, the ROI. Read each articles, highlight the main facts, concepts, and you read some articles several times so that you have a clear understanding and grasp of when you are citing this synthesis. synthesis. For what you understand, highlight words and phrases that captures your idea so that it will be easier for you to get the information that when you use the highlight. Highlight only what you understand, what to you, what can support a report. Newspaper stories, just all the facts and ideas in paragraphs. So suggestion words that are significant to you so that you're to and uh, scan and read the information that you need save time because a lot of articles give a lot of tip. I suggest tips. When you're using the laptop, you can control F, write down the keyword so that you find easily what you're. Now, if you're working in a group, some of the reports of workers or the people who are working business report may work individually, work in a group. So there are the things that you understand. Working in a group now is the time to share what you learned, not be um, uh, to share your knowledge to others. Ask questions what understand from things that you read because people might be an expert in that field so that your work will have actually and can produce a result at the end. So if you're working on your own, take a list of words or topics you don't understand now, explain some else. Use dictionaries or encyclopedias or ask people to help understand it. Okay, and we also have cluster. Start with just a few sets and then add more and then try to and leave it with the overwhelm. Then name the clusters, think of title, type. And as tip, think, review the information, the clusters that can give you a quick visual picture of where you have a lot of information and have probably covered the issue of information you need to decide. Next, move, turn to library research to specific topics. Now, library research. Okay, then the last part on synthesis. So need this also conclusion. This is the process when you read all the calls highlighted, it aligns this, and you start evaluating. When you met in expert, discuss the articles you are creating and synthesizing it. When you cluster the facts and concepts of synthesis for analyzing, synthesizing, organizing, organ. So basically, those are the important advanced skills that in doing a business with. To remember synthesizing, organizing, information, right?